What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Malice in Wonderland. We got a great show lined up for you today, starting with the news at the top of the hour. Let's get into it.
Chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
This fucking bastard.
Counting this all there?
Oh, no, go ahead, count it.
Yeah, come on. No bullshit. Prince.
Man, don't fucking touch me, scumbag.
Smack blood and skull fragments out your face. Clap stubs at your mother's casket, walking out of a wake. Bang! Young Pesci, fucko, come test me. Fake suicide the same way they hung Epstein.
What up, y'all? It's your boy, Niko Kayla, and I'm here with my homie, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend. You see his name at the bottom of the screen, Mr. Pablo Escobars. How you doing today, Pablo? It's been a few weeks since our last episode. You been living good? What's up? Let us know.
Bro, I'm fucking good, dog. Baby's eating some food now, you know what I mean? Kind of starting to walk around a little bit. Like, that's my focus is right now I work here and then I work with the baby, nigga. I'm house husband right now.
Exactly. Hey, you gotta be a daddy first, a worker second, a podcast show host third. You know what I'm saying?
I've been a
I
daddy
had to
my
put
whole
that
life.
all.
I was just a father now. I've always been a daddy.
Oh, you always been a daddy your whole life?
I
I
always
get
been a
what
daddy
you're
to
saying.
the
I get what
hoes.
you're saying. But yes, so we're gonna get into the news. By the way, my girl, she had a little gallbladder surgery taken out. She's going through a little rough patch, but you know, it's gonna help, and it's gonna solve a lot of problems for her. So we're doing good on that end. Other than that, you know, dogs are growing good. You know,
All for
I'm
the
living good.
best.
Just got a new job, but let's get into the news. Our first story.
Here's everything we know about the
This
is
brutal
crazy.
murder of InfoWars reporter Jamie White.
I want to pause this real quick. I want to know what this dude was investigating or doing a report on. You know what I'm saying? What was he investigating for Alex Jones?
All right, real quick. This is Alex Jones right now?
Yeah, dog. He looks rough, don't he, dog?
Bro, Ozempic, right? I don't know, or crack, dog.
No,
Dog.
I think it's less Ozempic and more having everything you ever built in your whole life torn away from you because you claim Sandy Hook was an inside job. I don't claim that. The podcast doesn't support that. We're not saying that. We don't support that in public. Wink, wink. But yeah. So I think it's more his whole life being destroyed over the last couple years, but definitely let's check this out because this is weird.
On his Monday, March 10th episode of InfoWars, Alex Jones announced that one of his reporters was killed outside of his apartment in Austin, Texas.
Jamie was murdered last night outside of his home, just a few miles away from our studios.
Jamie White, described by Jones as a good friend and the best writer at InfoWars, was heading home after work late when he was killed, Jones said.
This was his desk for breaking stuff on the news. He was up here 6-7 days a week. He was up here last night, Sunday night.
According to local reports and Austin police, authorities were called at approximately 11:57 p.m. on March 9th to a parking lot of an apartment complex on the 2300 block of Douglas Street in South Austin. Arriving just 2 minutes later at 11:59, police reported they found an adult male victim with obvious signs of trauma.
Officers responded to a shoot, stab, hot shot, which is a high priority call for service. The victim was pretty expediently transported by EMS to a local hospital. Unfortunately, the victim, an adult male, was pronounced deceased at the hospital at approximately 12:19 a.m.
And are you releasing whether it's a shooting or a stabbing or?
Just not at this time. Just said that there was obvious obvious trauma, signs of trauma, and one person is deceased.
As far as how Jones came to learn of White's alleged murder, he says that after Jamie didn't show up for work in the morning, his team sent a crew member to his home-turned-crime scene, where police allegedly confirmed the victim's identity as White.
And when they got to the apartment complex, there was yellow tape everywhere and blood all over the parking lot and didn't look good. And then They didn't even want to tell me yet that the cops had said, no, it was Jamie White, that we were the first to learn. We waited until the afternoon until the family's been told.
Austin police are imploring anyone who has information.
So they have no information on the crime, no leads. I want the lead of Alex Jones to tell us what Jamie White was investigating at the time, because something tells me that this wasn't just a random incident. I think Alex Jones had him on the hunt.
They said he got shot and stabbed?
No, I think it was it's just I think it's just a general code when the police get called for a shoot, stab, hot shot. Like, it's basically like somebody's pretty much dying or whatever from whatever happened to them. But yeah, dude, that's real suspicious. I don't know. We'll find out more information on that. But here, we're going to get into some news. I know we talked about it on a show that didn't get aired, but we talked about Pam Bondi and the Epstein Files and Cash Patel and how they were lacking on the first 120 pages that they dropped, acting like that was the whole thing. A whistleblower said, no, they got thousands more. Supposedly, Pam Bondi went and got those thousands more. We're still waiting on all those documents. But here, let me run this. And then we're going to hear a little conversation between two people afterwards that I don't think it fully explains why. I'll give my theory after that conversation, because I want it to be a little deeper in the show where maybe YouTube algorithm can't find what I'm going to say, but let's run
Joining
this.
us now is elections correspondent at The Federalist, Brianna Lyman. Brianna, thank you so much for joining us. I want to start off by speaking about the Epstein and JFK files, because there's growing frustration over the handling of these files. We know Pam Bondi is being slammed for her handling of the Epstein files. She's been AG for more than a month, and the American people had been promised to get some truth and transparency, yet nothing new has really come to light so far. What's your take? Are we ever going to get all of these files?
We should, out of respect for the victims of this whole Epstein sex trafficking case. Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell are the only two people in the world who have sex trafficked young children to apparently nobody else. And I think what's really important about this movement is you see people on MAGA and on the conservative side who are still fighting, their own party, so to speak, right? Pam Bondi, she is on the MAGA side, and they're saying, no, we want these released. So I think it's indicative of a party that is based in values and morals and wants answers to this horrific crime.
Okay, we are standing by for an up.
Yeah, they want answers for the crime, but I don't see the files coming out. And when the files come out, I feel like the files are going to come out with a bunch of shit blacked out, and they're going to say, oh, that's victims' names, when a lot of it probably, I think, isn't going to be victims' names, or, confidential government informants. So all the important people will be confidential government informants.
Just don't want us to know.
Exactly. That's what I think it is. We're going to hear the theory between that was just recent. Do you have anything to add before we get into this theory between Chris Cuomo and Tucker Carlson?
It's fucking, I don't know. It seems more typical of the shit that we'll see all the fucking time.
Yeah. Exactly. They just skate justice at all times, but we'll get into this.
Let me ask you a question that for some reason seems to have sunk beneath the waves. The JFK story, 62 years ago, the president's murdered. It's pretty clear that the story we were told isn't true. And it bothers people because it gets to a core question, which is the president capable of making independent decisions, or is there a threat of physical violence against all American presidents that persists? What is that? Why have these been secret for so long?
Look, the idea of the deep state to me is a convenience more than it is a reality. It's a boogeyman. Why don't they put it out? Because institutions protect themselves, Tucker, as we both know.
Really?
And there is clearly information in those files that are going to make the CIA look bad.
Just the CIA?
Well, whatever. Different agencies.
No, not whatever. I
don't know because I haven't seen
them.
Well,
so here's...
But it could be the FBI, it could be the CIA.
Okay, so I've always thought that. And then in January, there was a scramble over who's going to get what jobs in the new administration. And at one point, there was someone who was being discussed for a job in the intel world, and a member of the SSCI, the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, Senate Intel Committee, went to the people making the decision and said, you cannot hire this person because this person will be certain to push for the release of the JFK files. So this is in, this is a fact, so this is in 2025, less than 2 months ago, and you have a sitting member of the United States Senate whose main goal is to keep those files secret. And then you have to ask yourself, what is
Why?
that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Why?
Yeah.
Why? The CIA has already been discredited. So if you're telling me that 6 weeks ago, a member of the United States Senate was trying to keep someone out of a job in order to keep these files secret, that is to protect the CIA, I don't believe that for a second.
So what do you think it is?
I don't know. But this is, I mean, there's no one at the CIA who is involved.
Then.
Actually, yeah, who's involved in the Kennedy assassination. There's no one in America who's involved in the Kennedy assassination.
So here's what I know. First of all, I don't believe that the CIA has been completely discredited. I believe in the institutions. They have to be
I
checked.
played that because I kind of think that Tucker hinted, he said, I don't know, to be safe, but I think he was hinting like the Tiny Hat Club has a lot to do with the JFK assassination.
It's very
the Tiny Hat Club.
Those motherfuckers are everywhere at the right time.
Exactly, and that's why, and they go on to talk about the Epstein Files, and that's why I think the Epstein Files are not, we're not going to get the truth on paper. Like, we already know the truth. Like, we know the truth. We don't need it on paper to know what happened. People like Whitney Webb wrote fucking One Nation Under Blackmail Part 1 and 2, where they outlined it like in detail, year by year, line by line, who took what money, you know what I'm saying? And the Tiny Hats and Mossad were behind that whole operation, and they're not, do you think that they're gonna, with all the anti-Semitic shit that they're doing, that we're gonna, like, we're not, I'm just gonna try not to get into the topic too heavy, but do you really think we're gonna get the truth about Epstein with all the other shit that they're doing to protect the Tiny Hats right now? Like, realistically.
No. I mean,
because you need to,
What?
Go ahead. Because you need to point the finger at Israel and say they're responsible, and they're not going to do that.
Nobody wants to be the people to do that shit. I'm gonna be the first person to tell you Kearney's taking it way too fucking far. But I mean, nobody wants to step up and say shit. And every time somebody does, they're a fucking loon and an anti-Semite, whatever. Listen. Anyways, back to the fucking podcast. Avoid that shit.
Exactly. We're gonna avoid that. We're gonna get
where we talk about these things away from YouTube.
Exactly. Once we get a little following and we bring people somewhere else. Exactly. So our next story we're gonna get into is about the CBP or CPB One app that was recently just being used as an app to basically grant blanket fucking asylum to Haitians and Mexicans and Guatemalans and all these people coming through recently under the Biden administration. A lot of them got through this app. And here's the crazy thing, the ironic thing of what they've done with this app. It's kind of a little bit funny.
The US government has redesigned its CBP One app, originally used for asylum processing at the southern border. It is now called CBP Home and is being promoted as a tool for self-deportation. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announced the change, saying the app allows undocumented migrants to leave voluntarily, giving them a chance to return legally in the future. She warned that those who do not leave will be deported and permanently barred from reentry. The overhaul comes as part of President Donald Trump's stricter immigration policies. On his first day back in office, Trump ordered the discontinuation of CBP One. The following day, U.S. Customs and Border Protection cancelled all asylum appointments booked through the app, leaving thousands of asylum seekers stranded. CBP One was initially launched during Trump's first term to facilitate various immigration services. Under the Biden administration, it became the primary tool for scheduling asylum appointments.
Yo, it's just kind of funny. It was Yo, that was kind of a troll ass dick move. Like, yo, you know that app that you came here with? Oh, you still got it on your phone, probably. Oh, it's cool. Just press that update button, and now you can go home with it. Yo,
I mean, listen. I get it. The argument's always going to be, oh, it's the United States. This was made for everybody to come here. But like, why the fuck does every other country have the right
in moderation,
to kick everybody out who goes in there illegally? But we don't got that fucking right to do the same shit. Our own people are bitching about it. Like, do people don't realize that nowadays is the best time? People that are living right now are living better than any human has ever lived, ever. No, there's never been so many people comfortable in the entire fucking world than at this time right now. Like, people got it so fucking good, and it's constant bitching and whining. Like, really, you need to think about it. Men, women, gay, everybody. Nobody's had it as good as they do right now. At least in the United States, it's never been this good. So, like, I don't understand what the fucking issue is. It's just you're never going to satisfy everybody.
Exactly. You're never going to please everybody. But getting on to our next story.
Look, let's talk about DOGE. The Department of Government Efficiency has announced a further wave of contract terminations, noting that they identified thousands of cases where more than $300 million in loans were granted to children. Yes, children. The loans were issued in 2020 and 2021 while the world was struggling with the COVID pandemic, and it's not even clear what they were used
scheming ass
for.
parents.
I mean, what's
signing up
the
for the
reaction been
PPP
in
loans
DC
in their
to
children's names?
the cuts to what DOGE is finding? We just keep getting more and more evidence of waste.
Yeah, and the problem is a lot of the legitimate cases of waste, fraud, and abuse are being conflated with some of the more like politically inflammatory, although I would argue popular policies, like for example, DEI, the people on X have spent the last week arguing legitimately about transgender mice and whether Donald Trump was right in his joint address to Congress to talk about $8 million going to transgender mice, and that being a point of DOGE. But DOGE is also actually genuinely finding some inefficiencies in the federal government, and that's something that Democrats, we've seen a couple of Democrats come out and say, we should have done this. Why didn't we own this issue? The government is this stumbling leviathan, and it has all of these problems.
That's why she's a reporter.
Yeah, but anyway, so we see DOGE is fine.
Do it, stupid.
Yo. So DOGE is finding all this fucking fraud, all this waste. They're finding more and more every day. Actually, the DOGE savings clock as of today was up to like almost 200 billion so far, and that equals out to like $1,600 saved per taxpayer. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But we're gonna get into something that I don't personally think is pretty good. I'm not fully on all the details yet, but I'm not supporting this. But real quick, before we get into anything, do you have anything to add about DOGE this week? Did you see anything that like piqued your ears up or anything?
Nah, bro. You know what? This is pretty fucking cut and dry. Nah, like, yo, this is the shit that everybody's been saying for fucking ever. Yeah, I get you sound like an asshole and a bigot, but like, you know what? Just eat it a little bit, because you know we were right. Why this about one thing? You can't fucking deny this shit. This was wrong. This was fucking wrong.
Exactly. It was super wrong. It's criminal.
Don't want to pay those taxes.
It's malfeasance, it's criminal, it's ignorance, it's incompetence, it's stupidity.
Malfeasance for malfeasance sake.
Exactly. Let's get into our next story, because I think this is a little bit of bad malfeasance, and I think it's an attack a little bit on freedom of speech in this country.
Mass demonstrations broke out in the streets of New York today. Masked men in keffiyehs were battling with the NYPD. The NYPD arrested a number of people out in these protests. The chaos comes after a judge today blocked the deportation of a Columbia University professor who was arrested this weekend. Pro-Hamas agitator Mahmoud Khalil was arrested Saturday for his role in organizing the protests at Columbia University. He wasn't arrested for organizing. His student visa was revoked because he organized the protests. Last spring at Columbia University, windows were broken, buildings.
I don't like when they do that because the Democrats do that. That like, oh, he wasn't arrested and deported because of the protest. It was because of this other thing. That sounds like when COVID was happening and they're like, oh, we didn't force you to take the vaccine. You know, you just we're going to lose your job and everything.
Yeah, bullshit.
You know what I mean?
Bullshit.
Exactly.
Were barricaded and vandalized. For months, groups chanted about destroying Israel and killing Jews. Jewish students were blocked from entering their own campus. Trump said the arrest of Khalil is just the beginning, posted on Truth Social. We know there are more students who have engaged in pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic, anti-American activity, and the Trump administration will not tolerate it. Many are not students. They are paid agitators. We will find, apprehend, and deport these terrorist sympathizers from our country, never to return again. With us now, Jill Stein, former Green Party presidential candidate, herself arrested several times for political activism. Good to see you. I know you disagree with this, so I'll give you an opportunity to say why.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I disagree with most of what you said, both the non-facts and the conclusions. What we have here is a free speech issue and an issue of the freedom of Americans on campus and
he's not an American
in our communities. Yes, but it is the freedom of Americans which is at stake. And at our peril, we let this this former student who led the negotiations between the protesters and the university, against whom there has been no crime even charged, who was illegally arrested, and he is not a student on a student visa. He is a green card permanent legal resident.
I understand. In your green card,
and a judge rightfully stopped his illegal deportation today. So that is a good thing for Americans.
I get this. Let me. You made some statements. Let me just go back. According to the U.S. Department of State, no, we already made a number. U.S. Department of State, an applicant is ineligible if the applicant endorses or espouses terrorist activity or persuades others to endorse or support terrorist activity or a terrorist organization. The protest which he was
up to the Secretary of State. That is a legal question that needs to be decided according to law. This is not a proclamation made by the Secretary of State or the president, for that matter.
Yeah, so I do agree with a lot of what she said. Like, I feel like this could leak into American civil liberties big time. And it's all on behalf of the Tiny Hat Club. You got to remember that. Like, it's all on behalf of the Tiny Hat Club. And I honestly do not think man, brain fart. I honestly do not think that it's okay, it's right. And I don't think that if it had anything to do with the Tiny Hats, they'd be doing this right now. What do you think?
I mean, bro, they've been taking our freedom of fucking speech. This has been a fucking issue and it's just getting worse. I am not behind Trump on this shit. He's fucking up. This is ridiculous. I mean, if it was coming from the other side, I'd be losing my fucking mind right now. Because it has nothing to do with what side which it is, other than the fact that, like, this is... if I can't stand here and say I hate you, then you can't never say that to me. Once they take that from us, guns are next, and that's it. You can't say it or fight back.
Exactly. The point is, like, I get that some people in the crowd started breaking shit, but you can't use that as an excuse to go and start arresting people who were just there. Because look, that's so hypocritical. Because weren't we bitching about January 6th? But listen, weren't we bitching about January 6th and what they did to those people this whole time? And then we're going to turn around and do the same shit to the other side. We can't do that. We got to support people's opinions, even if we don't believe in them. And honestly, I can't say that that's not one part of one side of over there that I don't support, don't like kind of agree with. I'm on Telegram. I'm on Live Leak. I like to see the reality of war, and I see the reality of what's going on and what's happening to those Palestinian people. And I don't give a fuck. Leave religion out of it. It ain't about religion. It's about human beings and human decency. And what is happening to those people is not okay. Religion aside, all that aside, politics aside, what is happening to those people, and it's fucked up. And I'm not going to get into it because this is where I'm going to go. I like to like hope on Trump and be like, he's our savior. But then I'm like, but what if that's what they want me to think? What if that's exactly what they want me to think? Like,
no, that's definitely what they want you to think. That's definitely the game is. Remember, two parties. There are two parties. Constant division. Not a
what
third,
I
not
think
a fourth,
happened.
Not one, but two.
What I think happened was this: Obama's second term and the crazy shit he was doing really started to radicalize the right in a certain direction, and the powers that be and the tiny hats and the people in charge were like, fuck, this could get out of control real fast. We better give them a savior that we control. Like, we'll have them do things that, you know, the people want once in a while, but when it comes to the big things like names on the Epstein list, who really did 9/11, stuff like the big questions that need to be answered at the audit the Federal Reserve. Who owns it? Does it have to do with tiny hats? Why is there so many tiny hats in so many positions of power? Like, they're distracting us from all this shit, dog. And they're distracting us with dumb fucking bullshit, right? Like they're trying to revive the Derek Chauvin argument, and Derek Chauvin should be free. And I agree. And I definitely think homie swallowed fentanyl, but why now? Why is beady-eyed little fucking Ben Shapiro? All right, I'm gonna get off it. I'm not gonna let. We're gonna. But do you have anything to add to? Well, we got some funny videos, and we also got some depressing videos. You know, the best medicine, or it's not the best medicine anymore. It's the doom scroll now. So we're gonna take you through a roller coaster of emotions. You guys haven't experienced the doom scroll yet, but we're gonna give it to you real, raw, and uncut the first time. Here we go. Let's get into the video vault. Come on. We back in this bitch. We back in this bitch, dog. So much more room for activities. We changed the fucking name. We changed the style, what we were doing. If y'all remember, whoever was watching the show, we were taking the funniest videos we saw, but then I felt like it limited us. Like, I saw videos in that like social media format that I saw that weren't necessarily funny. It could have elicited other emotions, whether that be sadness, anger, happiness, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to include those, so we talked about it and we decided to change it to the doom scroll, right, Doug?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I like this because, see, the first time we ran this as a test, it really got me.
It sent him through a wave of emotions. I feel like I'm going to send you through a wave of emotions this time as well. So let's get into it, and let's start off with a lighter note with one of the kings. You know, he might have done some unspeakable things, but I've definitely done some unspeakable things to his music. He just dropped a new track from prison. We're going to listen to a new joint from the homie R. Kelly.
Call is from a federal prison. This call is from Robert Kelly. This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. To accept this call, press 5. You may begin speaking now.
I got 2 minutes. Let's go. First, I want to thank my fans for being a realist. Now let's get down to business on this breezy remix. Had to make this phone call just to let you know you ain't shit. It's questions on my mind. It's questions on my mind. You're still selling my music, making all this money. Don't even send shit to my books for commentary. No, though I'm in this place, I know I don't deserve this. It's questions on my mind. There's questions on my mind. Did I build you up? Build you up when I wrote you all those years? How you not gonna show me love? Show me love. And I'm not talking about no cheating.
Wait.
Who's getting all my checks? Where's my money? Tell me who.
Hats.
Who's getting paid for my
It's the
crime?
Chinese hat.
All of that's supposed to be
It's the
mine.
tiny hat.
Who gave you 34 years? Who made you billions of dollars?
Yeah, so I just thought that was I wanted to add that in there because I wanted to say
For
that.
that shit, bro.
Like
the shit
who
of that
took
girl,
all?
bro? Nah, I don't play. When it comes to kids, bro, you better go.
Yo.
Nah, you better flip that. I can't do it. Sorry. Next.
Nah. My whole point was just to do the tiny hat thing. When who took all my money? Who's getting all my checks and my residuals? I know who. Tell me who. And that ain't a halo, ladies and gentlemen. You see the shape and the position. All right, let's get into the next
world
one.
is $281 trillion in debt. To who?
Fucking planets, bro. Jupiter, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's Jupiter, dog. You can't really say
Ave
shit
la
about
diva.
Jupiter. All right, on to our next one. Here we go. This is serious. So right now, I'm going to pause this right now. So this was when it first started happening a couple days ago. They're making Christians in Syria crawl on their knees. They're having some holy war that just started over there that's going crazy because Bashar al-Assad just got toppled and shit. And now the country's really going out of control. And all the Christians are being rounded up. In this video, it was over 100 the death toll at the time, and they're making them crawl, and you hear them, they're telling them to bark like dogs and shit. But now the death toll's over 2,000 at this point, but... And none of the media is reporting on this. That's fucking sad, bro. You know, all those people right now are crawling to their death. Every one of them. I would like, if they know it, why crawl, dog? I'd just be like, yo, no, I'm not crawling for you, bitch.
Because, bro, you just want to maybe. That's having hope.
There's
It's having some hope. Maybe you could be that person. Maybe. Who
That's
knows?
crazy, dog. That's the news ain't talking about it, but like that is like the tamest video I could
back
find.
To this constant shit that I'm saying. I'm always saying this shit. The same way nowadays it's okay to shit, and it's always been okay to shit on white people and embarrass them, and it's encouraged through media, and it's encouraged through everything, through fucking everything. But everybody else is protected because for everybody, right? Everybody's got a month. White people don't get a month. I don't care. I'm an advocate for White People Month. I think it should be the 4th of July. I think it should be all of July. Fuck it. But all right. All jokes aside, you know, like this is a shit that they're never gonna tell us about this shit. Christians are constant fucking target. Christians are
Exactly, and nobody talks
made
about
fun
it.
Of. And there's no fucking consequences to it because once upon a time Christians put consequences on other people. Like those people aren't alive right now. Like those people who do that right now aren't here. So why do whatever.
It is what it is, dog. But here we go, getting into the next one.
Racist. The following directive.
Now this right here is I'll bring it back. This is G. Edward Griffin. We should actually do a series on his lectures, bro, and watch like 10 minutes at a time and like break it down afterwards. That'd be a cool little series to start. He's a legend.
The following directive was issued from
American
party headquarters
legend right
to all
here.
communists in the United States. It read, when certain obstructionists become too irritating,
label them as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after
You see,
enough
this shit
repetition,
goes way back.
become fact in the public mind.
Fascist, fascist political party. Radicals on the far right. Anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic.
Xenophobic.
Transphobic.
Uncle Tom's white supremacist. Domestic terrorist. Neo-Nazi organizer. Nazis. You are an anti-vaxxer. Anti-vaxxers.
Racist.
Racist. Racist. A racist.
Yo, Uncle Tom's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, dog. Because if you know the
That's
history
fucking
of it, it's like wow, they're using that word, and
You
it's
put me
like
on. You put me on.
you're telling them exactly
that.
what that person is, and they're not peeping it. So should I break it down for them if anybody's watching? Uncle Tom, the original Uncle Tom, stems from a book from the late 1800s about named Uncle Tom's Cabin, about a free black man in the North who was helping the Republicans of the North, because remember, it was the Republicans who freed the slaves, to free the slaves from the Democrats of the South. And now the Democrats call black people who are Republicans who are trying to free black people from the Democratic plantation Uncle Toms. And these stupid motherfuckers on the left think it's some kind of diss. They're literally telling you who they are. And you don't realize it. You think it's a diss, but it's not a diss. They're literally trying to free your mind. Yo, they co-opted it. They co-opted it and they flipped it. But let's get into the next
Someone
one.
set a fire in your car because you took too long, and I got bored. Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh, my bad. No problem.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I'll just destroy this office.
Hey!
Money, please. Money, please.
Ben, give her some money.
That's such a good show. That's such a good
Yo, dog, it is such a good show. All right, next one.
It's gonna be a snitch, and I'm gonna mad. Kill me, it don't matter. If it was snitching, I would die. This is not no joke. You would die. Like, you would die for snitching out here. People die for that. Real talk. Mama, people get blocked and killed for snitching.
We're talking about life sentences here. Times kid all three of them.
Oh man, they got that motherfucker, bro. Yo, you on camera too. Everybody knows who you are. Oof.
It's called
You live in
usury.
the rat life. Like,
Usury is illegal. So in Christian nations, lending money for an interest rate was illegal. So because it was illegal for the Christians, who did the lending? The Jews. So there was Christians who could lend for 0% or didn't lend at all. And then these people called the Jews would come over and start lending money. They start charging money. And in a couple generations, guess what would happen to the economy? The Jews owned everything. And then guess what the king did? Rounded them up and threw them out of the country. Then they go to the next country, and what would they do? Same thing. And what would that king do? Round them up, kick them out of the country. This went on for thousands of years. This is why the Jews in history have had no country, because the king would have, they would say no usury, no money lending, and they would start the money lending, they would start the central bank to compete with the king would kick them out. They go to the next country, do it again. So this has happened over and over and over again, because this quote right here from Napoleon, he was showed the compound interest tables, and he said in a very short amount of time, compound interest would eat up every piece of property in France. In fact, I'm going to show you how powerful compound interest is. Very scary thing. And there's a reason why it was illegal. Illegal in the Christian nations and the Christian philosophy.
Dude, yo, Jesus is gonna punch him. Yo, what?
Yo,
what picture
that,
was that?
yo,
Jesus was
but-
like, don't come over here with your interest rates.
Yo, that's why they be talking about Jesus is boiling and shit and piss, because he was such a gangster. Like, people don't realize like how gangster Jesus was in the Bible. Like, think about it. Every time Jesus came around to Israel, or to fucking Jerusalem, for what is it, the fucking Sabbath or whatever they were doing, the whole high holy day, He went in there, him and his people went in there and kicked all the bankers and all that shit out the temple. Like, y'all bitches got to pack up and leave. That's why they came after him, because just like a lot of motherfuckers like Kennedy, like people of recent times, bro, it's because they went after the tiny hat banks, dog. It's because they went after the tiny hat banks. But I'm going to leave it at that. You know, let's get into the next one.
You win? You have a problem with that? You know what you should do? You should sanction me. Sanction me with your army. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have an army. I guess that means you need to shut the fuck up. That's what I do if I don't have no army.
You need to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. That's right.
But that's exactly what they're doing.
You might speak 16 languages, but you're going to need them when you in Times Square selling fake hats. I know Gucci when I see it, nigga. I'm rich.
This motherfucker. I love Dave Chappelle. All right, let's get to the next one.
I wasn't allowed to go get food. And when I called Gillis and asked why I couldn't eat there, she said, it's a Jewish country club. You're not Jewish. They're not going to serve you. This is how this woman spoke to me. Yeah, this is how these people think, Whitney. They, honest to God, think their DNA is better than everybody else. I swear to you. It was a theme all the time with them. With Eileen Guggenheim, with, Jeffrey Epstein, with Gillis. It was a theme. Jeffrey was a lot less horrible than Gillis as far as a human being, like just being around, because she was raping just as many children.
So the country club, you weren't allowed to go because it was
know.
only for, people of a certain religion
Jewish
and
people.
ethnicity. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's
Religious.
unfortunate.
I mean, they could cut you down, and it was so morally devastating. You just felt useless as a human being when you were told you're nothing because you're not Jewish, you're stupid, you're useless, a useless white girl, a poor little peasant. Just the things that I was told, I was just like, I believed it, because it was like a cult. The problem. Yeah, you wouldn't believe the way Jeffrey and Gillis spoke about African Americans. It was like, it made my skin crawl. Anybody who was not Jewish, and you can write about this, but the way they spoke about them, it was really horrifying. And it showed me a great deal about how these people truly believe that they're chosen to do something here. I don't know. It's unbelievable to me. And it was every one of them, the way they spoke. And one time I heard Isabel say to her mother, Eileen, Mommy, why do you call Maria a nobody? And she said, honey, Isabel, Maria is not a Jew. She is a nobody.
Well, it is worth
So you
pointing,
can see why for about 20
that type of
years.
stuff I might actually include just because the Maxwell family has
You
ties
should
to
include
this
it.
group
You
that's,
should include it.
What's it called? Chabad Lubavitch. And
Now this is
Oh,
Whitney Webb
God.
openly
and one
talks
of the
about
victims of Epstein
how only
talking.
Jews are human and the rest of human beings are like
Yeah.
cattle, basically.
So yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
If you've been around Jewish people and you're not Jewish, it's like they walk by you. It's like you're not even there. It's like they're on a different plane of existence. Like you're just a fucking rock or some shit on the side of the road. It's been my experience. I dated a Jewish girl. I used to go to Jewish functions.
A tiny hat.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this. That shit is very. It is true. You feel very outsider. You feel very, very different. But I will tell you that their community amongst themselves are very good to each other. They help each other out of any rut. They really got each other's back, and that's how kind of
But that's because they're the only humans and everybody else is cattle. So they're helping each other fuck all the. They're helping each other fuck all the rest of us. But let's get into the next.
The thought of is that there's a lot of people who can't move on this, because that's the people who've transitioned their own children.
This is deep, dog. Listen to this, and think about the psychology behind this.
There's a lot of people who can't move on this, because that's the people who've transitioned their own children. So those people are going to be like, the Japanese soldiers who were on Pacific Islands and didn't know the war was over.
Right.
They've got to fight forever. This is another reason why this is the worst social contagion that we'll ever have experienced. A lot of people have done the worst thing that you could do, which is to harm their children irrevocably because of it. Those people will have to believe that they did the right thing for the rest of their lives, for their own sanity and for their own self-respect. So they'll still be fighting. And each one of those people destroys entire organizations and entire friendship groups. Like, I've lost count of the number of times that somebody has said to me of a specific organization that has got turned upside down on this. Oh, the deputy director has a trans child, or, you know, oh, the journalist on that paper who does special investigations has a trans child, or whatever. The entire organization gets paralyzed by that one person. And it may not even be widely known at the organization that they have a trans child, but it will come out. Like, people will have sort of said it quietly, and now you can't talk truth in front of that person, and you know you can't. Because what you're saying is, you as a parent have done a truly, like, human rights abuse level of awful thing to your child that cannot be fixed. There are specific individuals who are really actively against women's rights here, and it's not known why they are, but I happen to know through the back channels that it's because they've trans their child. And so those people will do anything for the entire rest of their lives to destroy me and people like me, because people like me are a standing reproach to them. I don't want to be. I'm not talking directly to them. I don't spend my time bitching about them. But the fact is that just simply by saying we will never accept NATO males in women's spaces, well, it's their son that we're talking about. And they've told their son that he can get himself sterilised and destroy his sexual function, and women will accept him as a woman. And if we don't, there's no way back for them and their child. They've sold their child a bill of goods that they can't deliver on. And I'm the one who has to be bullied to try to force me to deliver on it. So those people are going to be the people who will keep this bloody movement going, I'm sorry to say, because they've everything to lose. And it's a fight to the death as far as they're concerned.
Yo, facts are facts.
Yeah, because they have to look at the mirror and say, yo, I fucked my kid up so bad for the rest of their life. And they'll never do it. They'll fight that fight.
I mean, listen, hey, as an adult, do what the fuck you want to do. You want to do that shit, go do it. I don't really have an issue with it at all.
But people who do that to their kids, like, there's a lot of kids out there who are like 7, 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, even 13, 14, 15, 16, even up to 18, bro. Like, kids are very susceptible to manipulation and to suggestion, and especially from someone they love and cherish as much as, say, their devouring mother. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if that devouring mother who wants to feel special and have a trans kid just starts dropping, like, don't you want the dolls? Don't you feel like a girl? You want to be a girl, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And like,
those fucking hints, bro. That's
and then next thing you know,
and your kid will be that if you get that.
What's fucked up, Doug, is I feel like we're gonna see a crisis within the next few years of when all these kids who their parents sterilized them and did all this shit to them come of age and are hitting the age where all their friends around them are hitting puberty and they're not, and they're liking girls, and they're personally starting to like girls because they got mind manipulated when they were 8 and 9 and 10 and didn't understand what the fuck love was and what sex was and what people want was. They got manipulated into this. By the time they reach 13, 14, they could be horny for bitches and their shit got sterilized and is useless. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are gonna kill themselves and or hurt other people. Like, I feel like a lot of girls are gonna get hurt over this because a lot of bitter men who can't fuck them because their parents fucked them up when they were kids are gonna take their repressed sexual rage out on girls. Exactly. And their fucked up trauma with their mom out on girls and also out on themselves. So I think that's a problem that we got to look forward to coming up. But I've been talking about this forever. Add your shit and we're gonna get to the next video.
I mean, listen, these are kids, dog. They didn't really have a choice. What you're saying of your sexual maturity coming to fruition, and yeah, they could find out that they're straight. I mean, fuck that. You just
and the damage is done.
a great background story for a fucking killer, like a fucking serial killer or something. Like
Dog, there's gonna
like
be that serial killer, bro. I think there's gonna be a bunch of them. I don't think there's gonna be a bunch of the serial killers, maybe the smartest ones, but definitely a bunch of ones that go rage kill a couple, you know what I'm saying, females before they get caught and shit. Because nowadays to be a serial killer, you gotta be like, it ain't the 70s and 60s. You know what I'm saying? Like where cameras everywhere, criminal profiling is coming so far. Like, you ain't killing more than like 2-3 people anymore. Like, nobody's gonna get John Wayne Gacy numbers anymore. Nobody's gonna get Jeffrey Dahmer numbers anymore unless they're literally like live their whole entire life, never ever. Like those kind of people will still exist. Prominent serial killers that are doing things we'll never find out about will always exist because they got the money and the power. But I'm talking about your average Joe Jeffrey Dahmer down the street in the apartment chopping people up. That's not happening anymore. If it does, maybe 1 or 2 bodies, but after that, that shit's getting broken down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit is too sophisticated nowadays. But let's get to the next one.
Gotta have them ribs. And pussy too.
I did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut.
It's an attempt to make TikTok better. Tic-tac-toe. A winner.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna come.
So, just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan.
I have concepts of a plan.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him...
But I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
I've become friends with school shooters.
Basically, I'm here to announce that we're building Iron Man.
Run wild, brother!
This is radical left. Will you shut up, man? Listen, who?
Goat's milk latte drinking, avocado toast eating.
I just have one thing to say.
Hey, stop cutting back.
Wakanda forever. Paid for by Kamala Harris.
Bro, that lady, man. Oh my God, that lady, man. Yeah. And I'm not talking about Michelle Obama, the lady, man. I'm saying that lady, man, girl, that's crazy, dog. This lady is the most cringe, embarrassing Indian. You're Debo Double, dog. Stop pretending, dog. You're barely black, dog. Like, you're Debo Double. Oh my God.
Let's get on to the next one.
That's...
Yeah.
No, this ain't Mexico. It used to be Mexico, mother. And now it's Phoenix.
Cat Williams, like 2 weeks ago. I like this, so I wanted to include it.
I bet you don't leave here and go to Mexico, mother. Think they can live in this country and then still be allegiance to another country. If you love Mexico, get over there. Oh, say
can yo, right in his face, man. Cat is a gangster, man. Cat is a G, man. He was ready for there to be 100 Mexicans in there, bro. Takes the eagle, puts it right in front of the table. They got the front row seat too. And they wanted to heckle with the front row seat, man. You don't heckle a legend like Cat Williams. All right, on to the next one.
Identify this fraud and remove it from the annual fiscal spending. And here's the reality.
We got to bring this back. Hold on.
It's just so crazy to me. There's so much misinformation coming.
I wanted to play this because I know a lot of people are scared about Medicaid information. And if anybody's watching this show scared, I just wanted to add this, you know, to calm your nerves for people like my girl who's really like was bugging out about it. But let's play
from the left over this budget proposal bill. Why is it every single time when Republicans want to pass tax cuts for the middle class, the left goes with the usual argument that these tax cuts are for the billionaires? They don't say millionaires anymore because millionaires are their friends. They say the tax cuts are for billionaires, all in the expense of cutting Medicaid and Social Security. And they spread such misinformation because in the budget proposal, we want to cut $880 billion from energy and commerce. Energy and commerce, they cover essentially Medicare and Medicaid. So we want to cut $80 billion worth of Medicaid on an annual basis over the next 10 years. Harry Sisson and all of his minions wants you to believe that they're going to take away benefits from individuals that are actually eligible for Medicaid. And that's how you get insane tweets like this that get 13 million views saying that House Republicans have released their budget resolution. They're aiming to cut Medicaid by at least $880 billion. But that's not what's happening. Speaker Mike Johnson revealed that taxpayers are paying a staggering $50 billion in Medicaid fraud every year. So all Republicans want to do is identify this fraud and remove it from the annual fiscal spending. And here's the reality of it. There are plenty of research centers that already tell us there's massive amount of fraud in Medicaid. For example, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services found that there's about 5% of improper payments, or $31 billion.
And they scare the shit out of people, bro. It's kind of fucked up
The
what they
National
do.
Healthcare Anti-Fraud Association also finds the same thing, that there's about 3 to 10% of total healthcare spending is lost to fraud. When we specifically talk about Medicaid, it's anywhere between $25 billion to $85 billion annually. Here's another good source, U.S. Government Accountability Office. This is a congressional watchdog that found that in 2022, there were $81 billion in Medicaid improper payments. Biden's DOJ and his HHS department recovered in 2024 $3.4 billion in improper payments through Medicare and Medicaid in 2023. So Harry, stop lying. Nobody's giving tax cuts to the billionaires, and nobody's taking away Medicare or Medicaid or Social Security from anybody that is actually eligible. This is so crazy to me. There's so much misinformation coming from the left
this
over
guy
this
fucking
budget.
says eligible. Like, I can't stand it. This is for you, Pablo. We're gonna end the doom scroll with this.
Now I have to schedule a time.
Really? This is your life now, dog.
Before 6, but it's got to be before 9. She's like, hold on. She wants to scroll her phone. I got to be patient if I want to. We stare at each other, then thinking about her. And then I catch her yawn like, no, it's me in my hand. Oh, this was her plan. It's just myself. I'm a one-man band. No, it's me in my hand. It's me in my hand.
Yo, he killed it, dog.
He ain't lying.
How long you think he took to come up with that song?
It might have been a feeling. It might have been a freestyle.
You think it was a freestyle? You might have just been the blue balls compelled it. Like he was just so built up and backed up and frustrated that he just belted it out. It just came from the soul.
That's how greatness is created.
It just came
under
from
pressure.
the soul. It is. Greatness is created under pressure, and we got some comedians that I definitely think probably had terrible lives, and their greatness was created under pressure. So we're gonna get into our new segment. It's our new skit comedy battle. We got Tim Robinson going up against Shane Gillis. We got 2 skits for you. We're gonna head out of the video vault and into our skit comedy battle. Now, we're going to play these, and how skit comedy battle works, I'm going to play 2 clips, and then at the end, we're going to vote which is our favorite. So, here we go. You ready, Doug?
You ain't ready for this, bro. You ain't ready.
Yeah, I hope you're ready for this, because this is some fucking with it. So, that's the first skit. Our next skit, I think you're going to like, Bob. Is from Shane Gillis.
I love Shane Gillis.
Yes, I do love Shane Gillis too. So, all right, we're gonna get into our next skit, and then we're gonna give a vote. But this skit from Shane Gillis is called Uncle Daycare.
Hi, my name's Holly, and I run Happy Hands Daycare. The coronavirus shut down our daycare center. People just didn't feel safe sending their kids. We were about to close our doors, but Then we had an idea. We realized that there's probably so many people stuck inside with family members that they just can't stand. So we decided to reopen as a daycare center for uncles.
Hey!
Uncle Hank, good to have you today.
I got a hemorrhoid like a monkey knuckle.
All right. When most people have an uncle, they never think they'll spend all day with them.
Hey, you guys think fire's beautiful, right?
Good morning, Miss Holly. My mom told me to say thank you for all the prayers for our iguana.
Once COVID hit, that nightmare became a reality. Uncle Shane.
Hey, good morning.
Come on in.
Wow.
Nice shirt.
What sound does a wolf make?
Wolves.
So we offer a solution. We give uncles a place to go during the day. Each day starts with a morning meeting.
Wait, what?
We give all the uncles a scratch-off ticket with their schedules on it.
Yoga? God damn it. Fuck!
Then the uncles participate in a variety of activities that suit their skill set. Okay, Uncle Tommy.
Yeah.
How old are these girls? Are any of them underage?
Well,
you can do this.
I know.
Okay.
Say 21.
They're all beautiful angels.
Right, but are any of them underage?
I don't know. So, I have to assume they're all underage. All of them.
Great
Yeah.
job, Tommy.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you.
Yes, I'm proud of myself.
Remember, guys, as developed as they may seem,
It doesn't mean they're 18.
Is my computer? I gotta get this laptop.
this is conspiracy class.
Yeah, so basically the Hunter Biden video from his laptop is fake, but it's actually him, but they gave him a fake giant boner.
Yeah, dude. Italy's
black?
He's saying Italians.
Oh, Italian.
I actually have evidence that Jimmy Hoffa was one of the pilots on one of the planes. My cousin told me. What? Yeah.
We read the uncles some books to help debunk some of their conspiracy theories. But I don't trust the vaccines, cried the rabbit. Oh, but you should, Rabbit. They're safe, exclaimed Farmer Jim. If you don't take the vaccine, you won't be able to play with your rabbit friends anymore.
Yeah, all right, but what happens when the vaccine turns him gay, like what happened with me?
Well, remember, Uncle Tim? That's a conspiracy.
Yeah, the vaccines don't make the rabbits gay. It makes them artistic, like painting and shit.
And then Uncle Hank.
Farmer's giving the rabbit the vaccine so he can control his mind.
Here at our daycare, we have lady uncles too. With our lady uncles, we give them a pack of cigarettes, a robe, and a window they can look out of to keep an eye on things.
See these kids out here? Look at these kids.
They're just riding their bikes.
Yeah, from what country?
At Uncle Daycare, we provide snacks.
Hey, Hank. Feeling famished?
The uncles get a beer at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. Uncle Tommy gets a beer every half hour. Love your beers too? All right, no problem. We make sure the uncles get plenty of exercise every day.
Gushers here? Yeah. What kind of bullshit is
They
that?
gave me a breathalyzer, and now I can't ride my Harrow anymore, so.
Uncle Tim, that's great.
We do exercises like taking out an air conditioner, moving it from the house to the car.
Put in that hatchback! Put in that hatchback!
You did that. We have other exercises like bringing in the groceries when someone else buys.
Show you pussies how it's done.
Let's go. Let's go.
We try to return the uncles back to you a little bit better than when you left them. Don't laugh.
Hey! Hey! This asshole just whistled at my daughter.
Sir.
She's 17!
Sir, listen.
As developed as she may seem. I'm gonna kill this motherfucker!
They're uncles. Yeah, they're uncles.
It's good.
Yeah.
They're all.
They're uncles.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
It's okay, you didn't know.
I
You
didn't
didn't
know,
know.
buddy. I didn't know.
That's okay.
You okay? Did you fall down the stairs?
I got hit by an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Hey, Uncle Mike. What you making?
Oh, nice, man.
Uncle Mike,
Big labia, man.
don't you think something like this would hurt Miss Holly's feelings? A statement like this, it might make her feel unseen and unloved.
She knows I see her. I stare at her all day. She knows that.
Yeah, she does know that, but that's not really what I'm saying. I think you can do better than this. Come on. Yeah. Good. What do you have, Uncle Tommy?
It's a beer.
Oh, your favorite. That's awesome.
Yeah, now go get me one. Fix this.
Oh. You know what? Start.
I'm gonna give it to her.
I don't think you should.
Oh. Nice. Thanks. At the end of the day, the families come to pick them up. We walk the uncles out to the car and call it a day.
Have a good one, guys.
You know, people always ask me, what's harder, uncles or kids?
Shane, get out of there.
It's uncles.
Come on, Tommy.
Come on, come on.
Come on, Tommy.
Oh!
Kids don't try to kiss you all day.
No.
They have better language.
Dude, I'll suck your fucking dick right now.
No, just shut up. All people have feelings.
Not Italians.
All feelings matter.
Nope.
Sometimes they make you feel a little uncomfortable.
I can't feel shit.
Fucking pricks.
Kids don't do that shit.
Wait. I gotta pee. Yeah, well, just give me a second. You were in the bathroom for a goddamn hour. Fuck you! I gotta piss.
We just hope tomorrow will be better.
Get the fuck out of here.
Uncle Tommy!
God damn.
So what is your vote?
It's the uncles.
It's the uncles? Okay. Yo, what's crazy is we ran that on an episode that didn't get published because of technical difficulties that it was fucked. And I played a different Shane Gillis skit and what's his face? Tim Robinson won the first time. What do you think about, I'm freestyling this. Just tell me what you think and we'll play a quick one. What do you think about if the winner gets an honorary clip played real quick?
Why not? Run it.
Okay. All right. So so I vote for Shane Gillis and the Uncle Daycare for sure. You vote for Shane Gillis. So we're gonna play Couple of Beers, which is a recent SNL skit from just last week.
Here's quickly turns a cloudy, rainy day.
Hold on, let me pause this and let me just get this turned down over here. We don't want to hear it over here. Yeah, they're trying to have an intervention for him at the end. Yo, I think he should come down. What's mom and dad doing here? Yo, I love Shane Gillis, dude. Couple of beers is I seen that the other day and it was couple of beers helps treat multiple symptoms, including moderate to severe Italian wife. But yeah, dog, that was our skit comedy battle. Our first, not our first ever, actually technically our third ever, but our first ever going public skit comedy battle. So we're gonna get into our last little segment, and then we are going to end the show. After that, we're gonna get into This Week on Reddit. Really not This Week on Reddit. We changed the name of that too. It's Down the Reddit Hole now. And down exactly down the Reddit hole. And guess what? We're gonna peruse Reddit on our new what did you call it? Our pull it up atron or some shit.
Pull it up atron, the pull it up atron 5000.
That's the pull it up, or didn't you call it the pull it up 5000 or something? So I seen this right off the rip when I got to Reddit conspiracy. I seen this top because I want to talk about this. We got right here Thomas Massie saying the military-industrial complex demands about $50 billion per year in war. As soon as we quit spending $50 billion per year in Afghanistan, we started spending $50 billion per year in Ukraine. Watch where the next $50 billion per year goes when we stop sending it to Ukraine. The MIC is always hungry. And he's insinuating something. He's insinuating where that money is going to go and who's going to go to. And let's check something out. Let's watch this. Are you ready? Watch this. Let's go into here. Trump tweet about Massie. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, okay. Here we go. Yep. Yep. I'm looking it up. Watch. This is the Pull It Up-atron. So he put this big tweet out that Thomas Massie should be primary because Thomas Massie was the only Republican to revoke to. He said Congress. Let's look at this right here that I'm highlighting. Congressman Thomas Massie of beautiful Kentucky. Yeah. Go ahead. Read it.
Congress Thomas Massie of beautiful Kentucky is an automatic no vote on just about everything, despite the fact that he's always voted for continuing resolutions in the past. Trump said he should be permitted, and I will lead the charge against him.
Primary, meaning his people, it's okay. You're good.
My bad.
Nah, you're good. We all fuck up words. But so what did Thomas? So I'm gonna pull this teleport down for a little bit, and we're gonna talk about what it is that Thomas Massie voted against and why, and what he was insinuating that $50 billion a year was gonna go to. Was Thomas Massie voted against a spending bill that included a lot of money going to the tiny hats. And Thomas Massie is a Republican and one of the only ones who stands up to the tiny hats. And what does Trump want to do with them? He wants them out because he stands up against the tiny hats. And that's what he was insinuating, where he said, watch where the next $50 billion a year goes after we stop sending it to Ukraine. Where is it going to go, you think?
Straight to Israel.
Exactly. So yeah, that's a great one that we pulled up right on there. We just unraveled a little thing there of something that like has me.
Could be wrong.
It's more of that tiny hat. It's not wrong. It's more of that tiny hat shit, and it shows that Trump is willing to push out anybody that doesn't agree with the tiny hat agenda, and I don't like that. And that, look, watch, I'm gonna bring this back up because this is the same shit. This is the same shit. Look at this. Boom. And I love that they use look, what happened to suspending all foreign aid, right? That's what this post said. What happened? Right? Impressive. Nice. Now look, now let's do the tiny hats. But do you think they're gonna do that? No, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do the tiny hats. Exactly. This has been we've been getting onto the tiny hats in this episode pretty hard. And that worries me a little bit, but hey, the AI told us that our message would alienate people, but it would also attract us a good type of base. So just lean into it. So I figured, fuck it. We'll keep it to tiny hats, and we'll talk about it. We'll just talk about it deeper into the show where the algorithms ain't looking, dude.
I can't wait to talk about the Fez hats.
Oh, okay. This fucking guy. Yeah. But hey, so it's been a good. We found a nice little thing on Reddit right now. A nice little 2-part thing. We've been running over an hour now, so we're gonna cut this short. We're gonna say our goodbyes, and then we're gonna leave you with some wise words from the legend Mike Tyson. That I definitely feel like applies to my life and something I need to think about more. Especially when it comes to podcast shit and just generally other shit. But yeah, it's been a great episode. We have some laughs. We definitely had some ups, some laughs, some ups and downs, If you like the show, like the show. If you like the show, like the show. Subscribe to the show. You can find us everywhere at Malice the Podcast. X, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok,
your mom's house, your mom's room,
Facebook, your mom's house, your mom's our boxers are in your mother's hampers. They might have doodoo stains on them.
Your cat's box.
Exactly. If there's a poo-poo that looks too big and your cat didn't do it. Nah, I'm just playing. But hey,
My cat's sick.
What'd you think of the show, dog? Did you have fun?
I think I have fun. This is the same thing we do every time. Try to bring some truth to you guys. What we think. We're trying to always be biased though, so it's why every now and again I'll say it's what we think. You know what I mean? Versus like exactly what it is.
Exactly.
We just gotta be fair.
A lot. Some of this shit isn't. Exactly. Some of this shit that we say on here is just our views and opinions. It's not necessarily speaking for everybody else or anybody else. It's just our crazy fucking minds, you know? And we're hoping to spread it all out to you, our fucking craziness that we got going on inside. So with that, we're going to say goodbye, and we're going to leave you with some wise words.
Goodbye. Wise words.
Peace out, y'all.
Yeah. I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline. You ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
Doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. That is a great quote.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that, you could be successful in anything.
You normally are.